Welcome everyone to the Tantric Leadership podcast. My name is Anja and I'm your host. I am a facilitator and therapist for feminine empowerment, feminine embodiment, and specialized in burnout, hormones, and holistic healing. My guest today is Sarasai, and I would love for you to introduce yourself and tell our listeners a little bit more about what are you doing and what inspires your work, what inspires your heart.
Thank you, Anja. It's such a pleasure to join. I live in Thailand. My name is Sarasai, and I work with more facilitation of meditations, mostly active meditations, as I come from Osho background, let's say. And I work with sound healing, with Tibetan bowls, with some tantric practices also called from separation to unity. It's more coming to the heart space, acceptance, loving kindness, and also welcoming all parts of ourselves, all the shadows and the light all together. I facilitate sessions, group, individual, and also offer workshops, both in Greece and Thailand. Yes.
Oh, so beautiful. Thank you. There were already some words which maybe are new to people who listen to that podcast.
Okay.
So you mentioned active meditation. What does it mean? So usually I would have a conception of I sit, I'm silent, and I see what's coming up, like I'm listening or feeling my thoughts, my feelings, but I'm not moving. What is an active meditation, and what does it do to us, our physical and energetic bodies?
Yes. Well, passive meditations are mostly in stillness, and then, like you say, we observe what is happening inside and the thoughts and the emotions, the sensations coming up. With active meditations, there's also the stillness part, but we work with the body. We work more with somatically, meaning when there is energetic blockages in the body, it keeps us away from the stillness, the inner stillness. We can sit still, but it's still inside. There's so much going on, and the agitation happening in the mind cannot rest the body, or when the body cannot rest, it's also putting pressure in the mind. So first we aim to let go of these blockages by moving the body in different ways. So it could be shaking, it could be dancing, it could be humming. There are different ways to stimulate this energetic body to come into deeper relaxation, so that we can be at rest and in peace and more in the seat of the observer without attaching to what is happening. Because then, if not, we could be carried away with what is happening, and then it's not so much meditation anymore.
Yeah, I know it. Like, I'm meditating since, I don't know, I guess almost 20 years or something. And the first years when I was just introduced to sitting meditations were really hard, because my mind is going crazy. I have a very strong, smart mind. And then all these thoughts, I wasn't able to get into stillness. And then to some point I learned, there's a walking meditation. And through the slow movement, I could really bring my mind into the movement. And I felt it was easier for me to come to stillness. Or now I'm Qigong teacher, like I'm practicing Qigong since 15 years or something. And that helps me a lot. Yes. But I know Osho has developed some even more active meditations. Like one of my, there are some favorite ones. Like one is the dynamic meditation, which really helped me. It changed my life when I had to do it in my tantra teacher training. And then the Kundalini shaking. So with which meditations are you working, and what's your favorite one?
I love also Kundalini meditation. It moves the energy. It connects us with the earth energy, because we are the human body is very much connected to the earth and the sky. So what we call Mother Earth and Father Sky is holding us energetically, and this physical body, consciously or unconsciously, always connected to the ancestral wisdom of the Mother Earth. and the unknown, the source of light, the sun, we can call that. We are always receiving information. So when we open up through meditation, in Kundalini meditation, for instance, we connect to the earth energy from the feet, and we shake our body to let go of the rigidness, like, because we are so much wanting to control from the head. The mind wants to know, and the mind wants to control the experience. It's like a very strong organ
All the time.
if we give the energy to that. But when we drop into the body and when we let it loose, then the energy starts moving up from the earth towards the spine, and then it's going up, and then it's opening. And from the open space, then we can be more fluid, actually, because inside of the body is all water, like 70% of water. So we are constantly receiving information from outside. And when we are rigid, we are closed down into what we know, to our conditioning, to our beliefs. And in the second stage of Osho Kundalini meditation, there's dancing, connecting to bliss, the childlike expansion, just being in the moment with the music. And then we sit and observe what is happening inside and outside. And then at the end, we lie down to completely let go. And then the energy changes. So meditation helps us to welcome new energies, so that we are open to the potential of life and our natural essence. Yes, beyond what we know.
That was super beautifully described. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yes, I love meditation. This is how it all started. It's so liberating. It's so soothing. It's so healing. So yeah, it's beautiful. In the beginning, it might be a bit challenging to find the right connection, the right teacher, or the right method, because there are so many kinds. So yes, but everybody has something for them, I'm sure, if we are open, if we are curious.
So what was your first active meditation, and when was it? Like, what was your discovery?
Well, I'm not sure I remember. It was a while ago, like you say, there are many kinds of it. Dynamic is not my thing so much. It's very strong. It's too rough on my body. And I'm not so much into catharsis. I'm more into gentle meditations. Catharsis is more like purging of emotions and, just letting it out in a physical way, which is very helpful when there's a strong container and when we are going through a intense workshop, let's say. Then it's very helpful for me also. I like humming a lot. There is Nada Brahma meditation. So it's like stimulating the vagus nerve. I'm also asking for a little bit of humming, including it in my sessions usually. So when we hum like the bees do, it's bringing such a soothing effect in the system, and it's expanding the cells. It's opening up. So, and again, the blocked energy starts releasing itself. So we become receptive. And when we become receptive, the energy started flowing, and then we are able to be present what is out there. Because when we are too much in our mind, which serves at many times, then it makes us, the mind is connected to the solar plexus, it's connected to the mental body. So it's like very much driven to do, to achieve. And that's very important to be able to manifest. But manifestation is happening through also together with the other chakra energies, which needs to be open, because if it's rigid in the mind, if it's too forceful, then maybe it's not in the best interest for the the whole. It's maybe more selfish. But when it's connected to the creativity, which comes from the belly, the sacral energy, it's very feminine, and it's like where the chi energy is connected, as you know from Qigong. So when the breath is going down to the lower chakras and coming up to the heart, which is opening up for acceptance and more in a love is such a word that, you know, we take it more, I love you, I don't love you. It's not in this way of love. It's more about including whatever is happening there. So also including all kind of emotions happening inside of us, like sorrow or fear or anger. This witnessing seed, allowing everything. So it's very much connected to the higher self, connected to the trust, to receive. I kind of lost it. Where were we? Sometimes I get overexcited.
No, I feel
so the type of meditations.
Yeah.
Yes. My first one, I think it was Kundalini meditation. Yeah. 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 In the Book of Secrets, Osho has a book called Book of Secrets. And there are more than maybe 200 meditations. So it's like it's an endless world to discover. Yes, yes.
Beautiful. And then you mentioned as well, besides meditation, what you really love, you do sound healing. This is as well how we met. So,
yes.
What does it mean, and what does it do for people who would come for such a session?
Well, there are very different schools and teachings in regards to sound healing, but because I come from a meditative background, I offer less of a technical and more of a, let's say, energetic intention to bring the people to a more calmer state, to become more receptive, so the healing is happening by itself. It means in a group setup, in a group session, I introduce a little bit of what meditation is. So we can drop our expectations and judgments of what is going to happen. So it's already kind of putting the mind somewhere and coming into the physical body by just connecting to the muscles, relaxing them one by one, opening up the breath, slowing down the breath, becoming more energetically receptive, letting go of the day and, you know, what we want to achieve. So, and then they simply lie down and receive. And with Tibetan bowls, I work mostly with Tibetan bowls. The vibrations are entering through the biggest organ that we carry, which is the skin. So it's not really hearing, it's more like receiving through the blood and the waters that we are carrying. And also it works on the brain waves, the beta state that we are actively listening and talking goes down slower to theta and alpha, which is more like a healing state. So it's more like a in-between dream, like, and staying conscious. It's like a journey. It's like a dance, falling in and out. And the healing is happening when the body is in that relaxed state. And whatever needs to happen for each individual is going directly to their energy system through the frequencies of the Tibetan bowls. And in a one-to-one session, like you have received also a training with me back in the COVID times, and then the bowls are mostly used on the body parts. so that it can go even deeper. So the energetic blockages inside of the body are being released. So we open up to our true potential and creativity. Yes.
Beautiful. So does it mean that every organ has a specific frequency and you connect to that frequency and organ with specific singing bowls?
It's more like, I would say, because it works on the energy body and emotional body, each organ is actually connected to different emotions. So they energetically carry the overweight of these emotions. And if we don't know how to be a channel, in meditation, we learn how to be a channel when something is happening. We let it pass through us. So we don't attach. We learn detaching from what is happening inside of us or also outside of us. So if we don't know about this, we have a tendency to hold on to those emotions, which are actually not so pleasant because we are resisting. So when we resist, the energy gets more accumulated. Actually, it works in the opposite ways. So, for instance, lungs are more connected to sadness. And the kidneys are storing more fear, and the kidneys, the liver is more anger. So we can release the energies by different kind of detox experiences, or an energy healing session, which is working on the meridians and the organs, and some certain frequencies, some certain notes are said to be. F is more for the heart chakra, for instance, and D is for more the root chakra. But to be honest, it's not like if you work with the D chakra for a D note for the root chakra, then it's the healing. No, we need also different frequencies for different parts, and it's very harmonious how it works. It's very magical. So there is not like a very specific recipe to do it in the most correct way. It's more like you get in tune with yourself, you open up, and then you connect with the client and then feel into it and talk a little bit. So, and all the frequencies are going into the places where they need to go by itself. Yes.
Very beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember as well. We worked very intuitively, and I remember when I first saw this water experiments, I forgot the name, if it was Yamamoto or Hashimoto, this Japanese guy who kind of started to put thoughts into water and then could make the change of the crystals in the water visible. And it's similar when we work with sound. So the human bodies are, I think, 70% water. And so when we work with any kind of frequency, be it thought or be it sound, it does something, right? It's like the molecules are changing the whole body, like in every cell. And most people do not really comprehend what that means, like what potential is in sound healing for our bodies, I would say. Yes. And it's not only what most people know, like you go to yoga, you have a little sound healing after yoga and you feel relaxed. No, it's like so much more. It's like a whole, I don't know, whole science, whole medicine behind, right?
Yes. It's very shamanic, actually. It's really opening up to all kind of earthly and beyond energies to receive healing. It's like we come into this altered state of mind that everything is merging into each other. The concepts of time and space, in a way, dissolves. So it's very magical what happens. And like you say, the water carries information. So the way that we think, the way that we speak to ourselves, it's like this is where the healing starts. And when everything slows down, actually, we start hearing how we put comments on what we are feeling in that moment or what is happening out there. And we push it away because we don't like how we feel about what is happening. And then, there is this fight being created inside of ourselves. And when there's a fight inside of ourselves, how can we expect peace outside, right? Like we have to first find the peace within to bring any kind of peace to our environment. So it's not about really fighting with what is happening out there and trying to change the world. It's really looking within and how can I bring peace within myself in the way that I think, in the way that I feel. How can I bring more acceptance and love? Yeah.
Yeah, and it starts already with what do I think about myself? Like especially women, they're trained to judge themselves. Like, oh, my nose is not beautiful, or my breasts need to be bigger, or whatever it is. We see it all over Instagram, all the silicone lips and wherever it is. And it starts there, right? What are you telling yourself? And how can you be more compassionate and loving actually with yourself, right? So, and then this is what I think what the work you're describing is about, like coming to a place of loving kindness, being more present with yourself and establishing more compassion to what you feel and what is there in that moment.
Yes. Again, like our thoughts are very much are the source of the creation. So it's like mental activity is has very strong place in our being, but the mental activity is very much linked to the energy body, to the emotional body. So if there has been a storage of accumulation of certain emotions like low, it could be mostly it comes from low self-worth and the inner child's incapacity to feel enough because of the conditionings and the experiences of the past. So unfortunately, humankind is not perfect, and we are learning to find the perfection in ourselves, in our imperfectness, let's say, because then we know this is all about evolution. This is all about staying curious and open, and it's like we are here to experiment and a little play with. It's like a playground, and maybe once upon a time we weren't allowed to play freely because our parents had their own fears and their own problems and difficulties and the ancestral burden that they were carrying, receiving from their own parents and so on. So instead of continuing the chain of because we also connect with our parents through that connection of pain. So it's like instead of a healthy love connection, we continue the connection through the pain and triggering the pain within each other in a way. So the children takes it over to themselves to carry the connection as you work with the family constellation also. Like we take it on and we try to fix but it's not our position to fix them. It's more about we take care of ourselves, and we take care of our inner child. We take care of the belly, the breath, and then the energy system opens. And when we shine, they receive the light from us.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, it's true. Like family constellation is for me the most powerful tool to work with ancestral trauma and baggage and even collective. Like often it goes very far in the ancestral lines, and then it's even like this collective stuff which we carry in our bodies, and which is like running our lives, our decisions, how we perceive things, or how much pleasure we can have in life, or like crazy things. So yeah, it's super fascinating to work with that, and to study that more, and to find more ways and tools to help people heal that in themselves, to free them in a way, and to bring more love and peace, what you said, in the bodies, because this is what it's about. When we can create more peace in ourselves, then automatically there will be more peace on earth.
Yes. Well, when you mention, for instance, the women who are not happy with how they look, or, it's just the surface of it. It would be a way to tap into the healing field, to see how am I feeling, rather than it's just what we see is a reflection of what we feel inside. If we are already feeling good inside, what we see would automatically change.
True.
So if we could tap into the self-worth, self-love, and acceptance of emotions as they are in our being, trusting, things start to change. And then how we see, how we look will change. Yeah, it's a journey.
Yes, it's a journey.
It's an ongoing journey.
It's a life journey, but I can say, like, having lived on Kopangan for many years and doing this very intense, like, inner child work, therapy work for many years now. Yes, it took some years, and it was quite painful to do that. But now I feel much more like in myself. I feel much more connected to myself, to my body, to my emotions. It's much easier for me to set boundaries, or to express what I need, and to follow like the purpose and what I want to bring in the world. And before, that wasn't really possible. I was really in, like most of us, right, who went on that path to some point. I was somewhere in a corporate world and trying to fit in, and I was successful, but I got really ill, so I had to stop living that life.
Yes. When you talk about boundaries, for instance, is our anger is most of the time is protecting us. So it's more about boundaries. It's more about saying no to what doesn't feel right. But it's also, most people have a hard time to say no, because we are trained to be the nice girl, or we want to be nice people, girl or boy, it doesn't really matter. So it's more about the society is more about push towards saying yes. So it brings out this sheep culture at the end, or our boundaries are crossed, and then we end up with burnout and so on. This is one far end of it, and the other far end of it, which I come from, actually, is like it's my comfort zone to say no. So it's in my automatic to say no, like no, because like we find a way to protect ourselves in a default way, but it doesn't necessarily mean sticking to one side is better than the other. Because when we are in an automatic no, we also refuse many colors of life or many new opportunities which might rise, being so defensive, being hurt and trying to be overprotective. So one side has lost the connection with the sense of protecting the self. And the other side is like, okay, I am the self and I'm protected and I'm protecting myself and nothing else exists and can come near to me. So not one or the other is helpful. It's more about staying open and true to ourselves and what is happening in that moment. Is there really a threat, or is this really crossing my boundary? Like really being present with with the moment, because we are mostly reacting from the past experiences. We want to be accepted, liked, or we are so used to not being liked or accepted, we just say, no, I don't take it, I don't care, just leave me alone. Yeah.
I know it for myself as well. Like when I'm traveling and then people come to me, or especially men, and I'm often like, no. And sometimes, yes, I miss beautiful opportunities because I feel, oh my God, they want something, or, Yeah, so it's a bit sad, but it's a result of experiences as well. And I have to say, like sometimes when I was open and just following that invitation, let's call it, beautiful things happened. Also, they brought me to places I would have never seen if I wouldn't have followed them.
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess Tantra is all about being in that moment and opening to the moment through the authentic self, through the present self, and not really saying yes to everything, but feeling in, tuning in, being one with the emotional body, seeing the fear, seeing the potential scenarios written in the mind, like going through the mind, and staying with the moment, staying with the person, and see what is there. And if it's not right, trusting that we can articulate it. We can connect it. So connecting the heart and the emotional sacral energy with the communication. It's how I see it. Constantly moving the energy of these three centers.
Yeah, that's a good description. Yeah. Absolutely. And for people who are new to Tantra, how or what would you recommend them to practice in order to be more present in the moment?
For me, meditation is heart of everything, like it supports us in every aspect of our life, how we eat, how we taste, what we are eating, I hear the crickets in the background, for instance. It's very low, the frequency, but I'm connecting with you and feeling the breeze from the fan. So working with the senses, I would say, is the heart of meditation and also heart of Tantra. Because we are in this physical body, and the human senses are opening us up to the energetic field, connection to what is outside. So we are constantly receiving input. And these inputs are first connected to our five senses. Then the more we open up, the other senses starts to kick in, more like intuition, more like I don't want to go into the multidimensional realms of our being, not to take it to an esoteric level. I want to keep this podcast grounded. But we
Yeah,
are
so
multidimensional beings after all.
absolutely. So what I want to add is coming as well from Qigong and Tantra. I have very beautiful practices where and there are specific Qigong meditations actually, where you open specific senses, like you really focus on one sense and you try to stay with this sense and okay, what do I taste? And you stay there for like 30 minutes or 60 minutes and really practice it. And then you go to smell and then really try not to sense any other senses, but really the subtle things in the nose, okay, and then to the ears and then to the eyes. Like it's really would you say, yeah, practicing into intuitive opening of the senses. And through this training, I feel what you said as well. Like I was already like hypersensitive. I'm psychic. I already feel like 10 times more than other people. So I hear more, the light is more strong, and I just get more information. And by that trainings, it opened. So, and for me, on the one hand, yeah, it's great, but on the other hand, it was like super overwhelming, and I needed to find a way to deal with that because, like, right now I'm in a huge city. I'm in Los Angeles, and I can't go into the city center. It's too many impulses. It's a complete overload of my system. And then, like, after spending a day in the city, the best thing would be for me 24 hours in a dark room, no impulses, so that my nervous system can really process all of that stuff. So how do you handle this when you like open all these senses and then now you're in nature is like it's less, but when you're around like in a crazy city or around lots of people and you even feel the energies of the people. So how do you manage that?
It's tricky. It's not easy. And it's a process of learning, of finding our limits, finding our boundaries, and what is serving us till what state. And it's more staying with our truth. So if it gets too overwhelming, I was in a Christmas gathering, it's just friends, and it was even like 7-8 people. It wasn't like 20-25 people. But when I entered the field, I think I came out from a session, so I was a bit hypersensitive. So, but they were so loud and enthusiastic, happy. And I said, guys, you are so loud. Can we chill a little bit? Like if I can put it in a nice way, and they know that I'm a kind of a sensitive person, so they were very understanding. So if this is a safe environment that we can also articulate our needs and where we are, but if it's not in a space that you can control, or you can or when I go to a restaurant, I also, even they are not friends and if they are coming from a loud culture, let's say,
I know
it's like they're like, I can't hear my friend talking to me because they are super loud, and I have to say, instead of I also start shouting, I wouldn't do that, to myself. I tell them, sorry guys, you are super loud. Could you lower it a little bit? Like it's a constant learning of how can I be nice to myself and nice to other people around me. But of course, in a city setup where there is traffic and it's like constant noise coming out from outside, I gather my I gather my energy together, focus on what I need to do. I go and do it, and I come back and I rest, then, I take care of myself in that way. And I prefer not anymore being in very crowded places, in traffic jams. I positioned my life and myself in a way that it feels good for me. And everybody can do this when we are on the healing path and when we trust that a better life is possible. A better life is always possible.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. So what would you say are the main benefits for you from Tantra, since you went into Tantric teachings and practices and explorations?
Yes. Wow. It was so challenging, Anja.
For me,
Well,
the first time as well.
it was so challenging, but it opened up so much. It's really opened up so much. Um, I can say I thought of myself as a sexually very liberated woman, like I was free from shame, and I could do anything. This wild woman, like it's but even that was a how should I say? Okay, it's in me to be wild and free, in my
Yeah.
constitution, but it was also a reaction to the patriarchy, reaction to the pressure coming from society, reaction that women should be like this, like that. So even though I was an empowered, and I am an empowered woman, I feel like, still being in the heart is something else. Being in the heart means that you are not reactive. It's more about not it has nothing to do being with a free and wild woman. Like in tantra,
Yes,
they
that's true.
usually first have to go, you need to go through to find your power and your pleasure, and your liberation, and so that you can come to the heart in a way. But
Yes.
it's not the same. That's what I'm saying. So when I started with my spiritual journey, it started with first Vipassana meditations and Reiki teachings, and then I found myself in a primal deconditioning workshop in Osho Center in Greece, Afros. It works on the ages of 0 to 10, and what we have experienced in at home with parents or whoever was taking care of you or not, is that you go through it as your adult self, what through very strong meditative fields. So it's like you are not in the mind, you are living in it, and it's like doing some kind of a rewiring. And then there's a second stage, which is tantra deconditioning. Then it's focusing the age of 10 to 20. So what's built up in the child years, baby years and child years, goes into adolescence, and then how you explore sexual life or connection with man, woman, and then it was a journey for me to go through a lot of fear, because somehow my system coped with the amount of, our sexuality starts when we are 3 or 4, maybe even at younger ages. It's like it's so present with us from earlier ages. So noticing how I lived my sexuality and sensuality and connection to men, from which state of conditionings and beliefs and reactions, made me go into a freeze in a way. So from being quite liberated and free, I had to go process
yes,
all those unlived emotions of anger and grief, and so it took me a very, very deep healing journey. Then I started working also with medicine plants, and it took some time till I could open up to my to connection again. I had to hibernate a lot. So
thank you for sharing. Yeah.
You're welcome. It might be different, very different for everyone. So it's like a tantra is really for everyone. It doesn't matter if you are liberated or if you have a lot of shame or limitations to explore, to be open. There are very different aspects of how the self finds a way to find a safe place to connect, but it's not necessarily the true self. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you would create a tantra festival, how would that look like? Like, how would you dream if everything would be possible? How would that be, look and feel, and what would be happening? What would be my experience when I would participate?
In a castle. We're gonna go to a castle, no?
Yeah, we are going to a castle,
May
sure,
we're
because
gonna go in a castle. It will be
I
in a
love
castle.
castles and queens and kings, and mix that with some beautiful tantric stuff.
Yeah, I'm so much looking forward to that, you know.
Yes, yeah, me too. Like we're creating the European Tantra Festival, and whoever's listening, you're so warmly invited to join us here. Sarasai and myself, we will be facilitating and bringing you into deep connection, into deep journeys as well.
Yes,
To
self-discovery.
Explorations of yourself, your body, and then deeper connections with others. So it's for both of us, it was really life-changing to go on this path, and I think this is why we love to share that and to bring that more into the world.
Yes. Well, my dream tantra festival.
Yes.
Well, I would say it's a well-contained space where there's also indoors and open air, let's say, activities or gatherings, explorations, connecting with nature, and also spaces that we can go deeper within to more intimate connection with ourselves and with others. A lot of music, a lot of dance.
We will have everyday exciting dance. Like I love dancing. It's part of me. So
yes, innocence also. I would bring the concept, the quality of innocence, because that's how we are open and playful. Allowing the inner child and the innocence to be there, feeling safe, so we can be playful rather than in the head and wanting to achieve, get someone, or go through some certain experiences. Sweet people, smiling, enjoying, feeling nourished by touch and words. Yes. Joy, pleasure. Well, softness, also
like
boundaries, you know, exchanging consent, feeling empowered, feeling held, supported by a community that leaves a mark in our nervous system that we can build upon on. We can expand from that space. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. For me, community is one of the most important things. This is why we are creating this to give people this kind of experience. Yeah, thank you so much for this beautiful talk and sharing we had.
Yes.
I really enjoyed our interaction and our chat. And if there's any last words you want to say to our listeners or to the good people who are going to join the festival.
It's gonna be beautiful. Just show up. Just show up. It's a beautiful community that we are creating. Yes.
Yes, yeah, we
It's
will
in
bring
a
Russell.
beautiful space in the Netherlands, in May, in spring. Hopefully the weather would be nice enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Thank you. And for everyone who is listening, we would love to hear from you how you enjoyed the podcast, how it landed in you, if you have any questions. So we're here. You can connect with Sarasai and me. We will put her contact
Yes,
details in the description down
yes,
in the show
yes,
notes.
yes.
And yeah, whatever moves your heart, let us know. And we're here to share, to support in whatever way is needed.
Yes, yes. I just want to add my website, maybe it's Healing in Unity. So if you want to check it out, there's also information about active meditation, sound healing, energy work. There's a library button that you can receive a lot of information. You can connect with me also. And one of my teachers that comes from meditation, tantra, and ancient wisdom is called From Separation to Unity. So that might be also a work that I could share in the Tantra Festival. You can also check it out from separation to unity.com. Yes.
Yeah, that sounds super beautiful. Great. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone who has listened to our podcast today. We are looking very much forward to have you at the festival, to connect with us, and to keep on going on this beautiful journey of life. Much love.